Hey everyone, how's it going? And welcome back. It's Parklis here, and today we're doing another episode of Surviving the Fog. Now, for those who don't know, many of us hated high school. It was a time much of us would rather forget. But in this video, we are going all the way back to preschool. That's right, Badham Preschool, and we are going to be looking at all of the totem spawn locations here at Badham. Now, this is version 1. We may be doing versions 2 through 5 later, but most of the totem spawns should be about the same throughout all of the maps. Now, before we continue, if you want to check us out live, we do stream Thursday through Sunday and Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/Parklis. Now, back into the video. If you don't know much about the game, or your first time playing, or you're wondering what the heck are totem spawns and what are you talking about, well, in every single map there is a large pool that totems can spawn from. Each of these locations are randomly picked at the start of each trial, and only 5 of these spawns will be used per trial. Which spawns they are, you won't know until you see them once you start playing. In this video, we're going to go over every single one of those totem spawns so you know what to look for and where they might be hiding. So without further ado, let's go all the way back to preschool. The first one we're going to look at is going to be in the middle of the road here at Badham. This is going to be towards the end of the T intersection where the long road meets the short road. This is going to be inside a bush cluster on one of the sides, the left or the right, but again, it's going to be more towards the end of the road, so peek your eyes around there. Now, the next totem we're going to be looking at is going to be still in the middle of the road. This one's going to be more on the long road, usually between the buildings. Now, the configuration may be different depending on the map. This totem is going to be either on the left or the right side, usually next to one of the jungle gyms. Again, in one of the bushes, but usually easier to spot with the trash cans. This next totem is going to be one of the more well-known totems. It is at the end of the street in front of the 2-story house. Now, the 2-story house is the one that has the generator upstairs, usually in front of the window or in one of the side rooms. This totem is at the end of the road behind some concrete blocks. The next totem is going to be one in front of the 2-story house since we're still here. This one is going to be in the front left of the yard. It's going to be near some trash, behind a large tree or bush. Pretty hard to miss. Honestly, most of you should probably know about this totem already. The next totem is going to be actually inside the 2-story house on the first floor. This is going to be behind the kitchen counter, usually towards the back of the house. There's sometimes a window vault here, but it's pretty easy to miss if you're in a chase or if you're just not looking for it. So keep an eye out while you're going through this house. Now, with the recent patch update, a lot of these buildings have actually had doors and windows closed off. So here's just an example of some doors that used to be open but are now closed. So watch out for that. Staying on the road, but going to the next house. This one is again at the end of the road in front of the 1-story basement house. This is the house that'll have the generator usually in the basement. This totem is behind some foliage at the end of the street. The next totem we're going to be looking at is going to be inside the 1-story basement house, and we're going to go downstairs into the basement. Now, this one is next to the stairwell that feeds in from the back of the house, not the one that feeds in from the garage. So take a look around down in the basement, and next to this stairwell, you should find the totem that you're looking for. Like we talked about before with the patch, there's some updates with the doors in these houses. So here's a couple configurations that you might see when you're looking at the 1-story basement house. So while you're going through, don't let these things catch you off guard and get you trapped against the killer. Now, the next totem we're going to look at is actually behind the 2-story house. This is going to be near a pallet loop jungle gym toward the corner of the map near the shed that's out back. It should be pretty obvious by now, but this one's going to be hiding between some bushes and the rock at the pallet loop, so keep an eye out. Going outside the houses, going up along the street at the T intersection. This can be on either side in front of the school, but usually in front of the two-story house. You'll see behind the ambulance pallet loop there is going to be a totem hidden in some of the bushes there toward the end of the pallet loop. Continuing down the street as we get closer to the school, on the other side or the middle of the T intersection, you'll usually find this loop with a broken fence and some more of the concrete blocks. This totem is a little sneaky. It's behind the bushes up against the fence. Alright, now this next one is similar to the last one. It's going to be other side of the street. Same configuration for the most part. It's going to be along the broken fence near some of the concrete blocks and some foliage, but this one doesn't have a pallet loop, so there can be a totem that'll spawn here with or without the loop, so just keep your eyes peeled and you should be able to find it no problem. This next one is going to be outside the shack, usually between the shack and one of the houses. This one is behind the shed of the two-story house. This is going to be kind of out in the middle of nowhere, up along a tree and between some of the bushes there. So as you're running between the two, just poke your head around some of the foliage and you might just see a glowing totem you need to break. Alright, this next totem should be pretty familiar for some of you guys who have seen some of the other videos. This is going to be the shack totem, and just like in most of the other shacks, this one is going to be up against the pallet loop, nestled between the wall and the boxes on the window side. And now we move on to the namesake, the school itself. In the basement, there are a couple of totem spawns. This first one is going to be in a well-known location. It's on the side the hatch usually spawns, and it's up against the desk, so keep an eye out for that one. Continuing with the school, we are going to do one of the totem spawns that almost everybody should know. This is next to the Freddy Shrine and I believe Quentin's bed down in the basement on the same side as the last one. This one is usually right next to where the hatch spawns, as well as sometimes there's a chest right next to that bed. The last totem spawn is once again in the basement, and this one can actually spawn at the same time as the one next to Freddy's Shrine. So there could be two in the basement, but this one is on the outer hallway that connects the two big rooms, and it's going to be right in this snake-like S-pattern hallway. Just like before with the other structures, the school is no exception. With the most recent update, they have actually closed off two of the doors of the school. They are going to be on the long ends of each of the halls. Before these, both of these doors were open, but now they have closed them off. So the killer can definitely get you trapped here pretty easily if you don't know which door is open and which are closed. And with that, we come to the conclusion of yet another totem video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and it was as informative as I hoped it would be. Now remember, this was only the totems that I found on Badham Preschool version 1. There are other totem spawns on 2 through 5, so those weren't covered in here. They should be covered in future episodes. You know, if you liked what you saw, a like is surely appreciated, and if you want to see more that comes out, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll let you know when more are in the future. But until next time, guys, if nobody told you already, we love you, and stay safe out there in the fog.